DJ, coming to you live with a brand new episode of Hustle and Burn. As always, man, appreciate y'all tuning in. As always, happy Sunday. Hope everybody had a blessed week. Hopefully we can end it off right. You dig? Man. Got a lot to unpack today. First and foremost, shout out to our sponsor, Diamond Consulting. For any general contractor needs out there, guys, in the Front Range area, contact Diamond Consulting. They do have a private network of pre-vetted, fully insured subcontractors looking to grow their company. So contact Diamond Consulting, guys, 720-563-7452. Like I said, man, got so much to unpack. Been a crazy week. So we're going to get right into it with the NFL, the not-for-long league, man. Rumors are now linking Deion Sanders to the Cowboys coaching job, and I got mixed emotions on it. I feel like the media criticized Deion for leaving Jackson State. Even last season, it was Deion's just gonna leave Colorado high and dry, and now you want to push for him to leave and go to the Cowboys. Essentially, is what almost every media personality has been doing this past week is hey, it is what it is. Deion's turned Colorado around. Cowboys suck, so now Deion needs to go and be the coach of the Cowboys. I don't know. Deion says he doesn't want to leave Colorado. But I mean, listen, guys, coaching the Dallas Cowboys, okay, rebuilding them into the once great team and organization that they were, or at least the potential at that, the opportunity at that, to rebuild them to that golden age of the Cowboys. And not only that, but potentially being able to, along that line while doing that, continue to coach your son at quarterback as he comes into the NFL. That's a rare opportunity. And that is also the rumor, is Shedeur Sanders may be the pick for the Cowboys at quarterback, and they hire Deion. Who knows? Who the fuck knows with the Dallas Cowboys? But I mean, again, for Deion, even saying, I don't want to leave, I get it. He's got the juice up in Boulder. Believe me, my man has the juice. He can do absolutely anything that he wants up there, I'm sure. But, realistically speaking, again, the opportunity is so rare to go coach the Dallas Cowboys, to bring them back to relevancy, to change the culture, and to also potentially assist your son in his transition to the NFL. There's not a better opportunity than that, and I'm sorry, staying at CU is not a better opportunity than that. He has shown and proved already within 2 seasons what he can do to a program. Last year, Buffs sucked, 4 wins. The year before that, when he wasn't there, we had 1 win. But he came first year, got 4 wins. We thought, hey, that's an upgrade. 1 win to 4 win. This year, 8-2. 8-2. About to win the Big 12 championship. All right, so we can see what Deion can do, but I don't know. As a fan, I'll tell you. As a fan, let me tell you that, in my opinion, the Cowboys should tank. Completely. The Cowboys should tank. They should draft Shedeur Sanders, and they should hire Deion Sanders as the head coach. I know I'm saying I don't know how I feel about it, but hey, that's just because I'm a Buffs fan too. If I got the opportunity to go get Prime, come on down, Prime. If I got the opportunity to draft Shedeur, come on down, Shedeur. We need it, man. We need it. And I feel like Deion's focus on culture, player development, character development even, he could be that guy to challenge Jerry Jones just enough to get change going. I think it has to take a special type of person and special type of coach to flip the Cowboys culture around, to put a hand up to Jerry and say, no. Listen, Linda, this is what's going down, right? So, I feel like if we go and, because for those that don't know, Dak Prescott, we just signed him for $260 million, whatever the case may be, $60 million a year guaranteed over the next 4 to 5 seasons. He does have a no trade clause. What that means is the Cowboys cannot just outright trade Dak Prescott to any team. Dak actually has to agree to the trade happening. Now that's huge, okay? And that's why if we do want to get rid of Dak, and as a Cowboys fan, I want to get rid of Dak. I don't know that we should have signed him. He didn't look that good this season. I get it. We had some changes. We had some injuries. But we need our $250 million man to look A-plus top tier every game. Just like CeeDee Lamb was. CeeDee been balling all year. All right? He got his money. He getting paid. He started balling. Dak wasn't balling, man. And now you got this hamstring injury, which is pretty serious if he's having surgery. Who knows what he's going to look like when he comes back? He may be a shell of his old self, which was already a guy that couldn't close and couldn't finish. So, if you do want to change the culture, let's say you approach Dion about the coaching opportunity. He says, got to bring Kiddo in. Do you do it? I feel like that's the only way for us to push Dak out, okay, is to get a quarterback in the draft and to get a coach that is essentially intertwined or making it clear that they like that rookie quarterback publicly in the media to essentially get the writing on the wall for Dak Prescott that your time here is coming to a close. Do I think that we never play Dak Prescott in a Cowboys uniform again? No. I think he comes back next season. I don't think he plays the rest of this year. I think he comes back next season and just starts off slow, and that's when we're going to bench him. But we have to get a quarterback if that's the case. No one's going to want to come sign as a backup quarterback in Dallas. I really don't think so. But I don't know, man. There's a ton to unpack with that situation. I feel like, and the question with that being said is, does Dak still have first-round draft pick stock within the NFL? I feel like a year or two ago he did. Now I'm not so sure because of the injury, because of, again, how he looked this year. He just looked awful. He looked like he wasn't in it. It's been bad all around, man. But, again, I'm putting it on record. Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders. I'm about to buy my Cowboys Sanders jersey. I'm telling you right now, I told my boy Griff, I'm about to get a Shedeur Sanders Cowboys jersey. Mark my words. I might wear it on the next pod. I'm telling y'all, bro. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait. I hope it happens. I think that's the only way we can flip this around, man, and start to really change things and just go in a completely new direction. That's what we have to do. All right. Now, sticking with the NFL, an NFL figure or an individual close to the NFL circle, if you will, John Gruden signed this week with Barstool Sports. Now, he signed this in the midst of his lawsuit with the NFL. His case against the NFL, for those that don't know, alleges essentially that Roger Goodell and other NFL executives conspired against him. They leaked emails to essentially put pressure on the Las Vegas Raiders to fire John Gruden for certain language that he was using in emails and conversations that were leaked to the public. And rumors actually suggest that Gruden has a good case in court, which is very, very interesting, man. Now, with why I bring it up is, with the recent coaching rumors, I feel like it kind of raises questions surrounding John Gruden. He's public about wanting to get back into football. I think he's one of those culture guys that we've really, really been chatting about, man. And it also begs the question, is the NFL potentially trying to ease Gruden back onto the media scene, if you will? Try to get him as a marquee figure on a week-to-week basis within the NFL hemisphere by being on Barstool. Again, conspiracy theory, guys, but, I feel like John Gruden is beginning. It's been probably, in my opinion, from what I've been able to tell the last about month, John Gruden has been in the media's eyes. He's been in a little bit of these stories. He's popping up at this practice or this practice, and now he's signing with Barstool. So every week you're going to see him on Barstool talking about the NFL. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just little by little, he's kind of getting eased back into the NFL hemisphere. And why I think that's good is because John Gruden is known for transforming teams. Again, what we've been harping about, the way that these coaches are able to come in and not just change the team, but change the culture of the organization. He is one of those guys, and he can completely flip the script on an organization. So when you're a Carolina, one of those teams, you got to look at that. You got to look at a guy like him. Even, goddammit, a New York Jets. Could you imagine? Could you imagine John Gruden with New York media? The NFL don't want that. Trust. But again, guys, just something to put out there, man. I really feel John Gruden is being eased back onto this NFL hemisphere and media scene because he's going to re-enter the coaching hemisphere. And if that happens, I would guess odds are before he does so, his lawsuit with the NFL is settled, probably privately, I would guess, most likely. Now, sticking with the NFL, something that I really wanted to, quickly put on the radar, which is kind of crazy, is this year there have been a bunch of close one-possession, final possession football games. And really, I saw this crazy-ass stat this week. Let me see. I saw this crazy-ass stat this week, right? What if the outcome of those one-possession games flipped completely? Okay, so instead of this team winning, the other team won, right? What if they flipped completely? And the outcome is wild, yo. I won't get into every single team, of course, but the ones that really stick out to me, guys, the Denver Broncos and the Cincinnati Bengals would both be 8-2 had they won one possession or final possession games this season, which is wild. That's leading the NFL. All right, they would be the number 1 and number 2 teams. The Denver Broncos would be number 1. The Cincinnati Bengals would be the number 2 team in the NFL. That's wild. Now, on the flip side of that, the teams who would be losing are actually interesting as well. If one possession or final possession games flipped and the outcome flipped, the Chiefs would drop to 2-7, the Vikings would drop to 3-6, and the Commanders would drop to 5-5. That's nuts. And why I bring that up is I wanted to ponder the question for everybody that be tuning into the pod, just to give you something to think about on your morning, on your drive to wherever you're going, whatever the case may be. Are the top teams in the NFL overrated, or are the bottom teams a little bit underrated? And I don't want to say the bottom teams, but kind of the mid-card teams, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Denver Broncos. Are those guys underrated, or are the top teams overrated? Or do close wins prove resilience, right? I just want you to ponder that. Think about that before this Sunday's games, before this week, man, because, it's very interesting to see it like that. Now, I do want to point out for all my Raiders fans that be tuning in, if one possession or final possession game rules and outcomes reversed, the 2-7 Las Vegas Raiders would be 2-7. Yeah, sorry guys. Raiders are done, man. Raiders are fried. But yeah, they'd still be 2-7, man. That is enough NFL chat for the week. We will circle the block and get to the NFL picks at the end of the pod. I know why most of you come here. You already know what it is. But hey, I'm going to give you some news this week, man. Y'all know how it is on the pod. I bring y'all into my hemisphere. So the top news of this week for me, guys, was absolutely crazy. And if you didn't peep this, if this wasn't on your TL, I don't know how. That's crazy. But Congress held a meeting regarding UFOs or UAPs this week, essentially continuing to further push for full disclosure on UFOs, on aliens. Now, this is interesting because what's now coming out, and guys, this is at Congress. This is Navy officers. These are high-level, high government officials who have been subpoenaed to come to this courtroom, and they are testifying under oath to these things that they are saying. Guys, they are saying the United States is being continuously visited and in contact, and I quote, with a non-human higher intelligence. Huh? And have been for decades, they say. Have recovered biometrics from crash sites decades ago. Bodies decades ago. What? Now, what I thought was very interesting was a lot of these new reports were actually saying that these crafts that there's a lot of evidence, and these guys are testifying to it, that these crafts may actually come from the ocean and not from space. That's nuts in itself. But the best argument that I'd heard kind of relating to that was, every video you see in cities, stuff like that, or close up, they're never good, right? They're never good. But all these new videos we're seeing are all Army and Navy videos. All Army and Navy guys coming forward. The ocean's 90% unexplored, right? So that's why it would make sense that the military is seeing some shit in the middle of the ocean, moving crazy, doing maneuvers that they've never seen. Or they're seeing a craft flying at fucking 3,000 G-force. The fastest craft that we have can go 17 G-forces. They're going 2,000 to 3,000 G-forces fast and diving into the water. I mean, it makes sense. It would make sense if space was just a simple distraction, or maybe even space isn't just a distraction. It's just part of the simulation. It's just, other worlds we can get to. But at the end of the day, man, it would make sense if they were in the water. The ocean of the earth is 90% unexplored. We have essentially stopped exploring the ocean because we can't go to the bottom of the ocean. There's certain depths that we can't even go to. So it would make sense for these guys to be under the ocean. Very interesting, man. Very fucking interesting. But I just think it's crazy that, again, these guys are saying we have been in contact with a non-human higher intelligence. And they're saying it may not even be, an alien. They're saying there may be an interdimensional sort of feel with what's going on. And that these beings are really from a realm that our brains can't even fathom. And there's nothing that we can do about these. They can scramble our weapon systems. They can take our nuclear weapon codes. They can launch our nukes at will. They can shut them off at will. They've intercepted missiles. There's even videos of our missiles not doing anything. The Malaysian flight that went missing 10, 15, 20 years ago. Guys, there's video now that they are saying is real of this flight being circled by 3 things and disappearing into a wormhole. The government is literally declassifying this video, saying this is a real video of this flight fucking disappearing. Are you kidding me? Like I said, if that wasn't on your timeline this week, bro, I don't know what's wrong with y'all algorithms, because that shit is crazy, bro. Like that is mind-shattering information, guys, that is being discussed on the fucking Congress floor, bro. And no one pays attention. We all don't give a fuck. We all don't give a fuck. But hey, man, I thought that was one of the top stories coming out this week. Now, another top story this week. Lot of crazy reactions for the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. I just want to point out, number one, that was elder abuse completely and fully. I don't know how the fuck that was sanctioned. I don't know how it was sanctioned. Now, the number 2 takeaway, and probably the biggest takeaway from the event that I got, was Netflix absolutely blew it. They blew it, bro. Netflix, you blew it, bro. Essentially, I don't know, other people were different. I essentially couldn't watch rounds 4 through 8. And if I did, the shit was pixelated as fuck. Like I was in 1920 or some shit. Like, what are we doing? First ever live sports event? You make sure shit's down pat. You make sure shit's ready to go. You knew this event was going to draw millions and millions and millions and millions of households, of smartphones. What are you thinking? That shit, man, Netflix, L for Netflix this week, guys. They absolutely blew it. They better make sure their next live event is through the roof good. But my third takeaway from the fight, on top of the elder abuse and Netflix blowing it, is, Jake Paul made 40 M's, guys, and Mike Tyson made 20 M's. So, 20 million and 40 million, 60 million in total. The fight wasn't good, but I gotta love and I gotta respect the hustle, man. I gotta respect the hustle from both of them. And especially from Mike, being, 58 years old, going out there against a 20-something-year-old guy who's probably on steroids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shout out to Mike, bro. And now Jake wasn't going as hard. You could obviously see he was pulling punches. This one kind of, people are saying it was rigged. It wasn't rigged. You could see that Jake, he could have did some damage, but he really understood the assignment and didn't want to. So respect to Jake for that as well. Again, wasn't the fight that we wanted, man, but it is what it is. Now, we gonna get into a new segment that we brought into the pod last week, the Fried Awards of the Week, man. We are giving out 2 this week like we gave out 2 last week. Now, the first Fried Award of the week, guys, goes to, drum roll, the Denver Bronco fans, especially the ones that are tuning in. Now, the Broncos are doing well, guys. I'll give you that, okay? But the reason you're getting the Fried Award for the week is I've been hearing it left and right. Bo Nix is the guy. He's going to get us so far. Everyone talking about stats. Media saying the Broncos got him one. The Broncos got him one. He may be the best QB in the recent draft class. Fam, number one, I'd expect him to be the most play-ready quarterback of all the rookie QBs this season and even last season. The kid played 5+ years in college, bro, as a starter. He's more seasoned on the field than any of them. It's just the truth. So yeah, I'd expect him to look better than everyone in this draft and the last draft. But he really doesn't. He has a 54.3 QBR. That is not even top 15. He barely made the top 20. So what are we even talking about? What are we even discussing? Y'all don't got you one. You got a Gardner Minshew on your hands. A game manager. Stop the cap. Stop the hype. Y'all are fried. Fried Broncos fans. Now, the second Fried Award of the week, drum roll please, goes to Dana fucking White. Dana White comes out publicly and says he doesn't care what John Jones says. And I quote from Dana White, if he, John Jones, wants to fight again, it'll be against Aspinall. Now, he came out saying this, okay, after John Jones came out stating that if he won last night's fight against Stipe Miocic, that he wanted to either retire or fight Alex Pereira. That he had no desire to fight Tom Aspinall, who is the #1 contender for the heavyweight belt. John Jones said, I will drop and vacate the heavyweight title, and I will go fight Alex Pereira in a super event for the BMF title. No better fight to set up. I agree. Majority of fans agree. And then Dana White comes out and says, no, if he wants to fight again in the UFC, it'll be against Tom Aspinall. Dana, this is the GOAT. The greatest of all time. He just solidified himself, period, as the greatest of all time. There's no light heavyweight or heavyweight that can fuck with John Jones. There's nobody in UFC right now that can fuck with Alex Pereira. Okay? Why would you not set up a super fucking mega fight with John Jones and Alex Pereira, Dana White? You need to stop hanging out with the Nelk boys and smoking whatever they're smoking. My guy, you're fried. You are fried. That is the Fried Award of the week, man. Now we gonna get into why most of y'all pull up on the pod, the NFL picks of the week, man. Shout out to our sponsors, of course, for these NFL picks every week, guys. OSRBC.Denver. This is a Raiders club, guys, that gathers every Sunday at Play Ball Sports Bar and Grill. This is a group of young and old fans, new and old, and they get down, man. They get down. But they keep it respectful, of course, like I've mentioned multiple times. So even if you don't like the Raiders, come down, pull up to Play Ball Sports Bar and Grill. Come kick it with the ORSBC. It is ORSBC.Denver on Instagram, guys. Any Raiders fans, any football fans, make sure you go give them a follow, man. They are the sponsor for these NFL picks. Now, the lock of the week, guys. The lock of the week for you guys. This is actually shorter than usual. Usually we do about 4 to 5 legs. The lock of the week is actually only 3 legs this week. There's actually some really tough matchups in the NFL this week. So there's not many locks. A lot of these games are toss-ups. But the first leg in the lock of the week is going to be the Vikings. Minnesota Vikings money line against the Tennessee Titans. The Titans just can't seem to get the offense going. The Vikings need a big win again. And I'm taking them today. So I got the Vikings money line against Tennessee. Second leg of this three-leg parlay, I have the Detroit Lions money line against the Jacksonville Jaguars. This, guys, is probably the most obvious lock of the week. If you wanted to bet your house payment on an NFL game this week, I would bet it on the Detroit Lions money line. 1,000%. Probably the most obvious. So, going with the Detroit Lions money line. Third leg of this three-leg parlay, guys, it is Houston. The Houston Texans money line versus the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, I'm picking against them. God damn it. All right? I'm picking against them. This is the first time all year I'm picking against the boys, but I got to do it. I got to do it today, man. Houston money line versus the Dallas Cowboys. This is a three-leg parlay. At the time of the bet, guys, it was plus 100 odds, plus 136, I believe. Sorry. So, go double up your money if you wanted to, realistically speaking. But again, guys, three-leg parlay, Vikings money line, Detroit Lions money line, Houston Texans money line against the Dallas Cowboys. All right, now we getting into the juicy parlay of the week, man. You know how we get down on these juicy parlays, guys. All the juicy parlays will be plus 1,000 odds or more. Now, these are never financial advice on these bets. Of course, go do your own research if you want to bet. But I just think the odds are too good not to throw a little bread out there, you dig? All right. Now, the juicy parlay of the week for y'all guys. First and foremost, running it back with the Detroit Lions. But this time, we are taking them to cover the spread of minus 14. Hey, we got to keep these juicy, man. We keep these juicy parlays juicy, all right? So I'm taking the Detroit Lions with the first leg, minus 14 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, guys. Next up, second leg, I have the New York Jets versus the Indianapolis Colts. I have the Jets minus 4 covering the spread in that game. As much crap as we chatted about the Jets, I got to take them against a team who I feel is struggling even worse than the Jets to find who they are and even get an identity. But Anthony Richardson is coming back, so I'm excited to at least see the young guy get on the field. I don't think he should have been benched. I was vocal about that. I thought it was crazy. So I hope to see AR back, but the New York Jets will win today, and they will win by more than 4. So minus 4 with the New York Jets. Third leg of this juicy parlay, man, I have the Atlanta Falcons plus 2 versus the Denver Donkeys. Falcons plus 2 versus the Denver Donkeys. Man, I get it. Denver has a good defense. I get it. They've looked all right. But I don't know how they're favored in this game. Atlanta does have a much better team than the Denver Broncos. Okay, they got more weapons. Offense is way, way better. Defense is but the Broncos' offense isn't good. So I don't know how the Broncos are favored in this. I got the Falcons plus 2 versus the Denver Donkeys for the third leg of the parlay, the juicy parlay. Now, the fourth leg of this juicy parlay, guys, I have the Los Angeles Chargers money line today versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I personally believe in the Chargers. I've been vocal about it. I think they're a much better team than their record says, even though their record honestly isn't that bad. They're second in their division, right behind the Chiefs. You know what I mean? But, Cincinnati is another team who I think just can't find an identity, really. They're struggling. They always lose these close games. Like we mentioned earlier, their record would be completely changed if they hadn't, and they were able to close games out and win in that crunch time. I think they're going to lose another close one today, Cincinnati. So I am taking the Chargers money line, guys. Again, what we have here is the juicy parlay, plus 1,000 odds or more, guys. Altogether, we got Detroit minus 14 against Jacksonville, New York Jets minus 4 versus the Colts, Falcons plus 2 versus the Donkeys, LA Chargers money line versus the Cincinnati Bengals. 4-leg parlay, guys. That is the juicy parlay of the week. This has been the pod for the week. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Hope everybody has a blessed Sunday. Hope everybody has a great week coming up. And shout out to my mans in the back. Shout out to my mans in the back, man. They're my boy Poole right there too. Lazy asses. These fools live rent free. Everybody have a good Sunday, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in to Hustle and Burn. Make sure you tune in to the quick burns during the week. Make sure you tune into the videos we drop on the YouTube as well. We out, y'all. Have a good day. Deuces.